Grandad's shed. Today I'm going to attempt some plumbing. Not something I normally dabble with, but it's an outside tap. How wrong can it go? I've gone and purchased an outside tap. Tap to blue poly adapter, and we shall run that underneath the house to a blue poly adapter, onto some copper, through an elbow, and then I've got an isolator valve, and finally she'll be teeing it into the mains inside the house. I've got a pipe cutter, deburrer, inserts for the blue poly pipe. Have a look at what's going on. Tap on the outside wall, she'll snake the pipe down the wall underground, drill through the wall of the house. So I have a brick house with insulation, a block internal wall, then underneath the floorboard I shall run the pipe. That's the poly to copper adapter before going through the right angle elbow and up through the floorboards to insert the isolator. Mains feed underneath the stairs. In order to make a hole in the outside wall of the house, I had a look at my drill bit collection. I have a 20mm drill that's only 8 inches long, which is going to be a little bit inconvenient. And I went shopping, bought myself a longer drill. This is a 22mm drill. Two reasons for that. First reason, 20mm drill was out of stock. I figured an extra millimetre either side of the blue poly pipe will help push it through the wall, give me a little bit more clearance. Pipe's currently on a roll. As it uncoils, it's going to twist and fight around, so hopefully that will make that go a little bit easier. Let's have a look at where this is going to get installed. Here we are at the side of the house. Somewhere on this wall I shall be aiming to install the outside tap. Bring the pipe down to below ground level. I've already excavated a hole here, and I shall be going in somewhere down below the damp proof course, which will take us below the internal floor line of the house. You see through the window there with the reflection, and then run along underneath the suspended floor. That sounds pretty trivial, right? Just work out how deep to drill. I've measured internally, and my floor is a similar height to the external sill, and I need to go down 11 inches from there to get to the internal base level. Going through somewhere in the middle of this brick would be ideal. Fortunately, that's how deep I've dug down as a hole. Hammer on. And that's run out of depth on that drill. I'm going to go and change the drill now. Now we're in business. One hole. Now I have a rodding kit here. I'm going to push a rod all the way through and then attach a piece of string, withdraw the rod, and then use the string to guide the pipe. The reason for that is there's a few cables and things under the floor, and the poly pipe will roll up and not want to head in the direction. It'll go and snag on things. So with a lead string, should be able to guide it to the far end. It's a run of 7 meters. I've got 8 of these rods, so that should be enough. I'm going to start feeding them in. Three. 4. hopefully that's far enough. I've just been into the house and tied a piece of string around the end of the pull rod. Ignore this blue pipe. It turns out I'm putting 2 holes in the wall and I forgot to press record for the first one. But you can see the principle here, so I'm just going to be drawing this through now, making the rods disappear along the patio. There we go. Almost there. Right, there's the string. Take the string off the end without losing it back through the hole. Just tie a clove hitch onto the end of the pipe. And then feed it back down the hole. Welcome inside. This is the other end of the blue pipe you saw me feed in through the wall from outside of the house. Had a little bit of a palaver with the drawstring, but we got there in the end. We need to tap it into the mains water feed. The stopcock with a small leak, and that runs up to this elbow here and supplies the main house feed. Now what I plan to do is take the T-piece, bolt that into there, run down that hole, and pick up the end of the pipe under there. I don't know how much of this we'll be able to see together, but first thing I need to do is isolate the water, and I'm going to replace the stopcock because this one leaks on the drain and doesn't turn off properly. So step 1, outside to isolate in the street at the water meter. I'm not entirely sure what you're going to be able to see, as I can't see the back of the camera to see what I've aimed at. Well, let's give this some undo juice and it's undone. I've not been able to undo the turn the stop tap on and off. As it's seized. Hopefully I don't get too flooded here. I didn't get sprayed in the face, so that's a good start. There we are, that's the old body out of the way. Here we are, I've removed the olive along with the backing nut, ready to replace the new one. New copper olive and directional. Pop this in. Bit like that, there we go. We'll do that up and we'll be good to go, or at least in a slightly better position. There we are. attach this, and notice it's slightly shorter, but by the time I've taken a chop off here and inserted the pipe, everything should magically fit. I've measured offset here, and what I propose to do is make this branch here an inch longer than this one, and then when I flip this it will move an inch in and an inch down, which will hopefully get me pretty close to lining up on there again. Here's my roller magic knifey thing. Snap that on. Now, clink up. Here you saw the T earlier. T goes on there, and this goes back in there, and that will go on like that. What I'm going to do now is replace that olive, and we'll be good to bolt it up. I've now tightened up and checked for leaks on the stopcock and T-piece that I put in. Looks good. Now it's time to connect the output of the isolator onto the end of the blue pipe which runs underneath the house. In order to do that, I've got a drop here of copper which will get me down to the floor level. Onto that, put the push fit elbow, which just goes in as simple as that. Hopefully it's watertight. Then what I didn't show when using one of these pipe cutters, when it's finished you end up with a nicely rolled pipe on the outside edge, but the inside gets quite a few burrs where it cuts through the pipe. And that's where one of these tools comes in handy. If you've cut with a hacksaw, you can use the outside edge to get the outside deburred nicely, and then it has a set of blades for an inside edge so you can clean up the inside of a pipe. So I've made sure the pipes are deburred and free from detritus. Now that's that drop ready. Another short section here to do my corner on the bottom, and then we need to terminate the blue pipe which goes underneath the floor, so remove the end cap. I have cleaned the pipe, somewhere laying around under here I have the poly insert. It's important to use an insert in the pipes because when you use this type of compression fitting, even though it's a push fit, you want to make sure that the pipe doesn't crush, otherwise that would make it leak. So we can insert that into there, into the pipe. That makes it substantially stiffer, and these are demountable. You can get on the inside, and to demount them you push that collar while removing the pipe. Hopefully we won't need to demount it. That presses on like that, and I'm going to end up with my elbows in your face by installing this one in a minute, and then the last connection I'll make will be the poly fit onto the end of this elbow. We can then turn on the quarter turn valve, purge this pipe out into the garden, and we'll see that running next. Right, this is the pipe on the outside of the house. I'm going to go and use this screwdriver to turn the quarter turn isolator that you just saw me install. You're a little bit looking down the end of the barrel, so hopefully it won't end up in your eye. Right, that seems to have worked. We have wet patio. So to mount a tap on blue poly pipe, we have the insert. We'll push into the pipe. I've cleaned up the end from the hacksaw cut. We have a 90-degree elbow, which has got tap threading push fit. What I shall do first is screw in the tap fitting, as we've already purged the pipe. And there's the tap. This tap's going to be a little bit wonky, unless I do something about that. But, general game. Is to install the tap. Right. Tap on or off? Tap is off. Let's turn the tap on. I'm going to turn on the isolator and then come back out and turn the tap off. One outside tap. Here we have the tap at its temporary resting place. It's ideal for left-handers. If you're holding the watering can in your right hand, you can turn the tap on. Left. Thanks for watching.